Good to see you all here. Today is the 16th of Shabbat, which means yesterday was our full moon, and the 15th of Shabbat, or Tu B'Shabbat, the birthday of the trees, New Year of the trees. And in Israel, like here, we're seeing the signs of spring coming. The sap is rising in the trees, and lots of things are starting to bloom, and lots of changes in the natural world. And also in our political world. So we are reminded of the importance of community and being together. And so we can celebrate that with our first song of Hine Matov on 128. You can join me there, 128. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet ahim gam yahad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet ahim gam yahad. Hine matov, shevet ahim gam yahad. Hine matov, shevet ahim gam yahad. Thank you all. And Hannah, my daughter, is going to come over and remind us some of the reasons why we are gathered here together with We Enter on page 124.
We enter the synagogue. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wandering, it has endured a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guides guided our ancestors to live lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their true selves. Now, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, and the flaws of our human hearts, the hardness of the weak, let these drop away at the door in the brightness of Shabbat. Let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
All right. Do you want to play with fire? Okay. Unless somebody is here for the Oneg group, our Oneg tonight is being sponsored by the Oneg committee. So thank you to Allison and everyone else involved in plating that tonight. All right. Do you want to light this? So, as these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we in our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. Okay, and Skip, do you want to come up to do the Kiddush? She liked wine when she was little, but now she doesn't anymore. So we're on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava uvratzon hinkilanu zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikroei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim ki vanu b'harta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kashecha b'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashavat. Amen.
Okay.
You should have done it. It's really good.
Thank you, Skip. And we have Mary with us to lead us in Lahadodi to welcome the Shabbat bride on page 138.
Everybody, please join me. Lecho dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecho dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekabala. Shomor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmionu el ham yuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shemu tiferet v'lithilah Lecho dodi likra kala Penei Shabbat nekabala Lekra Shabbat lechu v'necha Ki hi makor habracha Mirosh mekedem nesucho Sof ma'aseh b'mafzar tihila Necho dodi likra kala Penei Shabbat nekabala Hitorari Ki v'orech umiuri Uri shir daberi Kavod Adonai alaych nigla Lecho dodi likra kala Penei Shabbat nekabala. Let's stand and face the door to greet the Shabbat bride.
On the 9th verse.
The 9th verse. Boi v'shalom eter bala Gam b'simcha v'tzochala Toch emunei am segula Boi chala Lecho dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabala. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Okay. And Mary's staying up here because she's going to lead the next song right after. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. And we have the, let's see, Hatzi Kaddish on page 144. 144. Right. Yid Gadal, Viet Gada, Shemei Rabba, Be'alma Divra Hurute, Ve'umlik Malhute, Be'chayechon Uvmeochon, Uvhaye Dekol Bet Yisrael, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, Bimeru, Amen. Yeheshme Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam Ulme Almaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitparar, v'yitnamon v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalel, v'yitalal, shmei kudashah brehu, le'el min kol birhata v'shirata, tushbehata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'imru, amen. Thank you. And on page 146, we will rise for our call to worship, the Barahu. Getting ourselves ready. You can rise in body or spirit. La 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 la. La 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 la. Kami, would you like to do a reading for us on page 148? Hamariv Aravim. 148. Thank you. This one? Yes, exactly. Perfect.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continuously over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai ha-amariv aravim. Okay. And on page 150, we can sing about God's love for us with Ahavat Olam. That's 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu bishobenu uvkumenu nese buchecha, v'nisma v'divrei Toratecha, uv'misovecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem hayenu ve'orek yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, ve'ahavtat al tazir mimenu le'omim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael. And we come to our central prayer, the Shema, on page 152. If it's your custom to rise, you may do so. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam And now we have Mary leading us in the Ve'ahavta.
Please join me. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levovecha, uv'chol nafshecha, uv'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'elech, asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al vecha, v'shinantam levonecha, v'dibarto bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha, v'derech u'shachbecha uv'kumecha, u'ksartam leot al yedecha, v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha, u'ksartam la'muzot v'itecha v'shirecha, l'man tiskaru v'yatzim et kol mitzvatai v'yim kedoshim, Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem, asher osehim mitzer mieretz, Mitzrayim liot lachim Elohim, Adonai Elohechem. English?
Thank you, Mary. If you'd like to, sure.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your might. Take to heart these instructions, which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them for a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Thus shall you remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem emet. It's the truth.
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. I'm on page 157. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. And Mary is here to lead us in Micha Mocha.
Please join me.
This is page
Micha Mocha.
158.
Oelim Adonai, mi chamocha nedor bakodesh, noro tehila osefele. Malchutecha uvoranecha bokeh ayom lifnei Moshe, ze Eli v'yomruv ornu, Adonai imloch olam voed, v'ne'amar kifar Adonai et Yaakov, Ukalo miat chazak mimenu, Baruch ato Adonai, go all Yisrael.
All right. So we, in the stressors of life, we often look for some sense of protection and shelter, which is what the Hashkivenu is about. And I want to try something tonight so that we can experiment with singing. So I'll sing it and you try to sing after me, using a combination on pages 160 and 161 of the first two lines on 161 and the first 4 words on 160. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu leshalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Leshalom. Thank you all. Okay, Hannah has one more reading for us on page 164, reminding us about the joy of keeping Shabbat. 162.
Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people who hallow Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For being pleased with the 7 days, you hallow it as the most precious of days, drawing out drawing our attention to the work of creation.
Thank you. All right. So we can rise as a community now in body or spirit to prepare for our personal prayers. So we've come to the standing prayer tefillah, and that is on page 164. So we'll pray together through 170 and then continue with your individual prayers to page 180. Okay. Adonai sefatek yiftachu fi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Eloheinu Eloheinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaHo, Zoter Hasadivot Dimot, Vivikulah Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahah, Me'achazir Moshiach Magdi, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Lechayei HaKol, Atah Mashiach, Mashiach Agashim, Mechayei Hayim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachim Rabim, Sof Mek Noflim V'Orchei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayei Emunato, B'Shenei Afar, Michal Mochal Kol Kiburot, U'Midam Adam, Melech Memid, U'Chayei, U'Masir Yeshua, V'Nehemar V'Tachot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shemecha Kadosh, U'Doshim V'Kudron V'Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Yaseh shalom bimromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, Bimru, Bimru, Amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. All right. So we are ready to send some healing prayers to all those in need of healing in body or spirit. And we have our Misha Barak list here. So there are those in our lives who suffer from illness of body or spirit, and the Misha Barak is our prayer of healing and hope, asking God to grant healing to those in need. And our prayer, the Misha Barak, is on page 371. The people in our community who are on our list, who we're praying for, are Joyce Salinas, Svetlana Lazovic, Fartak Chang, Elaine Kaufman, Doris Marks, Rabbi Cynthia Minster, Anthony Morgan and Snyder Lilly, Christina Knapp, Jean-Pierre Chalouche, Stacy Roberts-Orr, Jason Brooks, Larry Leichman, and Cantor Pamela Sawyer. Anyone else we're praying for healing? Kimberly McVicker, thank you. And Bill Simon, thank you. Anyone else? Lauren, thank you. Okay. So on page 371, Mishe Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBraha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Great. Okay. So this week's portion in the Torah is Yitro. So Yitro, we're still in Exodus. It's one of the chapters in Exodus. We've gone through the 10 plagues. We've had the parting of the Sea of Reeds. And we have escaped and we're at Mount Sinai. And Yitro, who the portion's named after, or Jethro, is Moses' father-in-law. So he hears how God has freed the Hebrews and led us out of Egypt. And he brings his daughter, Moses' wife, Zipporah, and her 2 sons to Moses, and he sees what's happening. He sees Moses as the one judge who is listening to everybody's issues and settling all of the complaints, and Jethro right away recognizes this isn't good. You're wearing yourself out, and you're wearing the people out. They're having to wait all day to have their case heard. This is too big a task for one person. And so Jethro, being a leader himself, he's a Midianite priest, he's got some experience with this, and he tells Moses, you need to delegate, you need to find some other judges to adjudicate these more minor disputes. So, and Moses listens, and he does this. And so the message that I hear is the importance of collaborating and learning to work together in order to make a community that can sustain into the future. And relatedly, in the same portion, we get the 10 Commandments. So kind of a big portion. Interesting to me that it's named Yithro, not the 10 Commandments. So we have all of the kind of cinematographic drama of the storm on Mount Sinai and the giving of the 10 Commandments, which are, of course, our basic rules for living together as a community. So both the judging of the conflicts that comes at the beginning of the portion and the 10 Commandments, they're both about how to live in line with God's teachings for how to live as a holy community. And so here we are in Exodus, transitioning from being slaves and living under somebody else's society and rules and ways of interacting to deciding what rules we're going to live by and creating this new society. So we are seeing it's not just going to be a group of people with Moses as the leader. So we have to decide what's a good way for us to live together. And we here at Temple Israel, we're in our 105th year, and being a small congregation, we know really very well, we have this lived experience of the importance of one another and involvement and how we need each other. And that's how we've made it for 105 years. And we saw this reflected nicely earlier this month when we had the tea honoring 4 of our matriarchs. We see how community works because we work together. And similarly, last week, Rabbi was out sick, and we needed somebody to fill in. And Patty sent out a message and said, hey, who can lead the Shabbat this Friday? And Eric stepped up. So he was able to lead a great service with the wonderful musicians we had. And I didn't try to do this service by myself either. I enlisted Mary's help and Hannah's help too. So that's how life works. Life needs life to keep going, and it's true for even our trees, right? We know that they're healthier because they get to send nutrients to each other and hold each other up by their roots, and they are able to thrive more when there's a diversity of trees too, and when there's various generations of trees. So I've been told that when a forest gets clear cut and then replanted, those trees, they're all the same age, and they're much more vulnerable, susceptible to disease, because they don't have the health, the wisdom, the experience of the older trees teaching them, right? So we need a diverse mix of people for our healthy community. And I've been thinking about this, trees and the importance of generations who've come before us, because yesterday was Tu B'Shabbat, as I mentioned, and it was also my grandma's yard site. So I know my life would not look the way it does now if it weren't for my grandma B. So there's a lot of gratitude that I have for her and for all the people who have come before. And it's, this theme comes together in my mind with a story that's really commonly told on Tu B'Shavat, and you might have heard it. It highlights this theme of taking action to sustain a community. So this is the story of the carob tree. So one day in the land of Israel, there's a man out walking. This man was Honi, the circle maker. And he came across a woman who was middle-aged, and she's planting a tree. And he asked her, how long is it going to take for this tree to bear fruit? And she says, about 70 years. And he's like, 70 years? You think you're still going to be around to eat the fruit from this tree in 70 years? And she says, oh, perhaps not. But when I was born into this world, there were carob trees because my grandparents and parents had planted them. And so just as they did that for me, I'm planting trees for my children and grandchildren so that they may eat of the fruit of these trees. So I was thinking as well about, this reminded me of a quote in our Siddur, which is, "We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all of the time." And like our Torah, our tree of life, the trees that we get to see in nature also serve as a reminder of the past. They have been there, some of them for hundreds of years, and they can also be appreciated in the present, and they sustain us into the future as well. So may we all plant healthy seeds for our community and for the future, and may we be thoughtful observers like Jethro, wise listeners like Moses, loving relatives like my Grandma B, and generous community members like our tea honorees, Mary, Elaine, Bev, and Allison. Shabbat Shalom. So some people are used to announcements happening now, but since I'm running the service, I'm saving them till the end. So we are going to go to turn our focus to those who we have loved and lost. And if you're in a time of mourning, please come up to open the ark. We'll recite the Aleinu, which is at the bottom of page 586 and in the middle of page 591. So we're starting 586. Anyone in a time of mourning? Yes, Jerry. I'll join you up there once I find page 586. Thank you. And please rise if you're able. Be seated. Okay. This is a Mary request. We are going to read on page 592 a poem by Merritt Malloy, who I discovered today is an American woman and still alive and was involved in filmmaking and has written books and things. So this is a beautiful poem to prepare us for Kaddish Yatom on page 592. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking in the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I have known or loved, And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Anyone who were observing Shiva or Shloshim for? Okay. I have a list of folks here who have passed in the last year, and we extend our condolences to the families in our congregations who are grieving the passing of these loved ones in the last year. Karen Bell, Stella Campbell, Barbara Coate, Gabriel Fatigue, Carol Foreman, Phyllis First, Arlen Gulko, Morley Heflin, Audrey Hyman, Michael Hyman, Bruce King, Mark Klein, Kenneth Kaufman, Scarlett Lehman, Dick Levine, Linda Minster, Marshall Minster, Brian James Newberg, Orona Oring, Lynn Sen Shostak, and Adeline Spiker. Any other names of loved ones who've passed in the last year? Okay. And the yard sites that we're observing, we're joining our hearts with those who are mourning the loss of these loved ones in this season at years past. Harry Adler, Arlene Greta Bernstein, Ronald Victor Cohn, Bill Denke, William Green, Oscar Grossman, Sarah Cohen, Esther Korospoff, Jim Kurtzner, Louise Maria Mears, Beatrice Myers, Milton Schiffman, Thelma Schusselberg, Dennis Solomon, and Judith Tamir. Any other yard sites we're observing? Okay. Thank you. All right. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved. And we have, let's see, on page 598, the Mourner's Kaddish, 598. If you're in a time of mourning, or if it's your custom to stand, for those who you might be the only one saying yard site for, please stand now. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah ve'alma divra v'rute ve'elmich malhute ve'hayon uv mechon uv haye de kol bet Israel ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen Yehe Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam ulme'el maya yit barach shishbar v'yit pa'ar v'yit nam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit halel v'yit halal shmei kudusha brehu le'el yin kol birhata v'shirata tush behata v'nehimata damiran ve'elma v'imru amen Yehe shlama rabba min shlamaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom b'imromav huya aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Okay. I want to thank everyone who was a helper tonight. Eric with our streaming, Patty as our greeter, and we have, I think maybe Camille's going to be our board, or no, Ethan's going to be our board rep. Thank you. Do you want to come on up and tell us the news? Thank you. Yes. There you go.
Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm Evan Akron. In case you don't know me, I'm a member of the board. It's my honor to be the board representative tonight on February 14th. It's also Valentine's Day, if you didn't get the memo. Thank you to Patty Stein for working the greeters table. Tonight's Oneg is hosted by the Oneg Committee. You may have noticed the coat rack that's in the lobby. The Social Justice Committee is using it to collect used coats to donate to the warming shelter at the Christ Episcopal Church, the Women's Shelter, and the Dine and Connect. So don't just put your coat there when you're coming in for the service. That's the donation rack. The coats will be collected through February 28th. All of our coats were greatly appreciated last year. I did donate a coat last year, so hopefully you can do that. Tomorrow, Eric Strimling will hold the weekly lay-led Torah study group via Zoom. That will be tomorrow from 9:30 in the morning until 11 a.m. It'll be the best 90 minutes you have ever spent. I've heard it's electrifying. Is that right, Eric? Is that the right word? All right, scintillating. So just remember, this is different from Rabbi Minster's Torah study group, and that is scheduled for March 8th. This will be led by Eric. Sharon Nunez will host her monthly library drop-in on Sunday the 16th at 2 p.m. The temple office will be closed on Monday the 17th. That's this coming Monday for President's Day. That's also a holiday, so you don't have to go to work that day. Wednesday the 19th, so that's next Wednesday, we'll be cooking in the temple kitchen for the Midway Shelter. All right, this is a lot to take in. Next week, we'll also have the Shabbat morning services. Those will be led by Rabbi Minster, and there will be a luncheon afterwards catered by our friends at the Gather and Grub. That sounds good, actually. On Monday the 24th, the Temple Israel Book Club will meet via Zoom at 7 p.m. for a discussion of Louise Eldritch's novel, The Mighty Red. Contact Allison Harris if you are interested and you want further details. Mark your calendars for 8 p.m. on February 24th for Dave's Swing Time Big Band concert in the Social Hall, and don't forget to bring your dancing shoes. That's not my line. They told me to say that. I would not put that in there. Lastly, the Board of Directors has rescheduled their monthly Zoom meeting to February 27th at 7 p.m. All right, there was a lot to take in. Any questions? Do you want me to repeat any of the dates? I can do that. All right, everyone's good. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And if you think of questions, you can ask him at the Oneg, which is right following this wonderful song on page 634, Mayahe Hayom, which is How Lovely Today Is. Okay. Do you know this one? Yeah, me neither. Okay. Mayahe Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Mayafe Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. All right, thank you all. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.